welcome to my channel. This is the first follow-up video to my Lion brand yarn unboxing episode published when I first started my channel about 7 months ago. I know it's been a while, apologies for the wait. In this episode, I will show you my first completed project and I will also give you a sneak peek of what's coming next. For my first project, I chose the Lion brand Ombre Life yarn in 2 colorways, Brunch and Nap Time. And this is the completed project, and I'll show you a video of it on a mannequin and a couple of pictures that I took of it. And for this shawl, I chose the colorways Brunch, and it started with the lightest color here at the very beginning of the shawl. And the second color was Nap Time, and I no longer have an extra ball of that colorway available. I do have a label that I kept of it. So it's called Brunch, and it's a number 204, I believe. I hope it focuses here. And it has a combination of orchid, grass green, and I believe this one is called elephant gray. These 2 colorways transition into each other seamlessly because each of them has a color called orchid, and that creates a nice gradient effect. This is the color orchid here. So the Brunch colorway has gradations of orchid, lilac, and clover, which is at the very center, the lightest one. And the Nap Time colorway, as I told you, has gradations of orchid, and we can see it here, grass green, and elephant gray. And I decided to crochet this shawl. And here is the finished project. The work on the shawl, the crochet starts from the top center. So if we turn it upside down, you will see how the crocheting pattern goes. It goes from the center, from the top, and then down towards the bottom. And you'll start increasing in every row. So it creates a triangular shape at the end. And so I started working with the Brunch starting from the center and finished all the way to the orchid color at the end of this bowl. And when I started the next bowl in the Nap Time, I used some of the orchid color for tassels first. So I created 3 tassels for each of the triangular ends of the shawl, And then I carried on in the remainder of the orchid here. So this orchid portion is actually comes from two balls, from the nap time, from the brunch and the nap time. And then I carried on to the end of the nap time colorway. When it was all done, I hand washed it gently in cold water and some mild detergent and laid flat to dry. And once it dried, I sewed in the tassels on each end, like so. It's very simple. You just you do it the way you like to do it. I don't have any particular technique on it, as long as it looks nice and holds on firmly to the body of the shawl. So the dimensions of the finished shawl are 64 inches on the longest side and 47 inches on the two shorter sides. So it's quite a good size shawl. So these two balls of this yarn comfortably make a decent size shawl. And the length of each tassel is about 4.5 inches, but you can make them longer or shorter depending on what you like. Also, you don't have to make 3 tassels. I mean, it's up to you. If you don't like tassels, you don't have to make them, or you can just make you can skip the one on the bottom and just make 2 on each side. So it's flexible. I mean, it's use your creativity and fantasy and do what you like best. The crochet pattern that I used to make this shawl is very simple. It basically consists of double crochets at the beginning and then some chains, and then the ridges here, the ribbed pattern is created by making some front and back post double crochets, and there are tutorials on how to make the front and back post double crochets. For example, there is a very nice pattern by Joanna Lindell called Secret Paths on Ravelry, and I'll include a link to that pattern in the description box under the video so you can learn how to make the front and back post double crochets to create the ridges. And this pattern is really just 2 double crochets and 2 chains in between, so nothing fancy there. It's just it's a simple pattern, but it creates a very nice look at the end. To crochet this shawl, I used the crocheting hook that is recommended on the label, and it's a 3.5 millimeter or US size E4 crocheting hook. So I didn't change the size. I used exactly the size that was recommended. I really much enjoyed working with this yarn. This is the first project, but I can tell that I really like it already, and I'll be working in this yarn again. I have shown you already these 2 colorways that I want to use for another shawl project, and this will be the Lost in Time shawl by the same designer, Joanna Lindell, and I'll post a link to that pattern as well in the description box. So this one is Cloudy Day by the same Lion brand Ombre Life yarn, and this one is Tea Time. And so I will definitely post a video of the finished shawl, and I think it will be the Lost in Time. I hope it will be. So stay tuned for that one. And I also want to make shawls using the same pattern like this shawl, and I call this shawl Violetta because it reminds me of African violets a lot, with all the lavenders and lilacs and purples and greens. So this will be my Violetta shawl. And I will make another a shawl in the purple shades or orchid shades, except there will be no green in it. And these two shawls will be for my two friends. I'm looking forward to making them. So this one will be in brunch, and the second colorway is happy hour. And you see how they have similar colors. I believe the orchid is here and here. Actually, yes, the brunch colorway has orchid on at the very end, lilac and clover, and the happy hour has gradations of grape, the darkest purple, orchid, which is the middle color, and lilac. So the two orchids I'm hoping that they will go well together. And I will probably, this time I will not start from the center. I'll start from this orchid color here, and it will transition all the way to the clover here at the center, and then the clover will transition into the lilac, which is very similar to clover. So I'm hoping that the gradation will shape up really nicely, and the edge of the shawl will be orchid and then grape. So the grape will be at the very end. Yes, I forgot to mention that the last row in this shawl is single crochet. So everything else is double crochet except the last row, which is a single crochet here. So this will be the purple shawl, and then I purchased the blue gradations or blue colorways to make a blue shawl. And I like them so much as well. This one, the lighter one, is called Dusk. And it's a combination of periwinkle, dusty blue, and pastel blue, the very center. And the twilight is a darker color. Here's, I think you can see it, number 2 or 3. And it's the gradations of navy blue, denim blue, and light blue. So I think I'll start with the lighter one and then end with the darker one. And I'll start here with the periwinkle, and I'll go all the way to the lighter one, and then transition from this light one, pastel blue, into the light blue in the twilight colorway. Hopefully they will transition. Yeah, here you can see more light here, and they will transition nicely, this light one into this one. And I'll finish with the dark navy blue. I really enjoyed working with this yarn, and I truly love the finished project, the effect, the ombre effect that this particular yarn creates. I can tell that it's really beautiful, and at least to my eye. And the gradations go very smoothly one into another, and that is accomplished by this yarn being a 4-ply yarn. And of course we do have some knots here. So here's, for example, you can see the end of the yarn, or rather the beginning, and here we can see that it has, as I showed you in the unboxing video, it has 4 strands here. This one, yeah, didn't catch. All right, so yeah, so we have 4 strands, and so then the gradations effect is accomplished by the lighter color being knotted together to the darker color, and each strand gradually is replaced by the lighter color as you keep crocheting. But the knots that are used, they're rather small, and I believe I showed you a knot or 2 in the unboxing video. Here I cannot see the knots, but they are not really visible in the finished project here. They're barely visible or not visible at all, and you can hide them as you keep crocheting. You can just use your crochet or maybe the tapestry needle to hide those ends, tiny ends that are present in this yarn. And I look forward to working with these colors that I had purchased, and I'm looking forward to creating more beautiful shawls using this yarn. I don't think I'll be using it for anything else because I really like the way this shawl had turned out. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you again in the next episode of my yarn work adventures.